Want to see what resources I have in this bag that I found or gotten for free? Well, stay tuned because you're watching Creative Redundancy, the one known as CR. And many of these items I'm going to try to put back in a useful state so they don't end up in landfill. Here's some zip ties that I found. Some of them are short, some of them are longer, some of them are wider. There's a taut line hitch on this one right here. There's some shoelace right here. Cordage is a useful item. This may not be paracord, for example, with, inner strands and stuff like that, but this one that I found sure looks more like paracord. A parachute type of cordage. You can see some inner strands in there. It's pink. I actually found this in the grass area, in the tree line, for example. Probably got about a foot or two about this. Leather type of cordage right here. And here is a crayon that I found, and also it's got CR in it. And of course it's purple. Of course I could use this for multiple reasons. It is wax. Use it to draw with, color with if I wanted to, mark things, mark my path, doodle, or make notes too with this. Here's a barbecue type of lighter, electric spark type of one. This one's refillable. These are lighters. This one's also refillable. It's slimmer. Electric spark type one. Here's another dual lighter or dual flame type of lighter. I had to put electrical tape around here because to keep this down. And it was missing this part right here, and it does work. It's an electric spark one. There's a normal flame in this side, it's a torch. And here is an actual big lighter that I found. And look, it's apparently Canadian. It's got a maple leaf on it, 67. This is actually, I found this when I was walking, and this is about 3/4 full. So, it's a good resource right there. A combustion type of device. So, useful item right there. Here is some petroleum jelly. Right here. It's not much, but I probably could make, at least one, cotton ball, dry lantern twine, something along the lines of that type of fire starter, for example. And maybe reuse the container after. We'll see. Here's a tin that I found here. It's a slider type of tin right here. I gotta push the sides. I'll be able to slide it. And here is some cotton base, like a t-shirt or something along the lines of that, of an article of clothing. So obviously I can make charcloth in this if I wanted to. Maybe make this into a fire kit, for example. Here is a magnification type of lens that I found. I think this came from some toy that I found or something like that. I don't know exactly, but it's yellow in color, as you can see. Let me put this closer to the lens camera here. So I can magnify stuff with it, like, if I had to see something closer, for example, or use this for solar ignition. Although it's yellow in color, it's not clear, it can still work, because I actually have tried this at least once. Or I can use it to magnify light, if I want to extend a light source out a little bit more. Now this one I found quite a while ago, actually. It's got a button on the inside. I have to push my finger in it. But it does light up. It lights up red, green, and blue. So RGB. So if you get that reference, you'll know what I mean. So this could be useful also for signaling purposes or for just general fun. It didn't come with this band. I actually put this band on. Now this does work. You have to spin it to turn it on, right here. As you can see, it does work. CR2032 batteries, those 3-volt ones. Form of candling device, for example. And something like a headlamp, for example, is quite useful. Hands-free lighting. Webbing type of material. 2 clips, plastic clips. That went along with this bungee, elasticy type of webbing type of material. So I could be using this for, like, let's say to make repairs on a bag or enhance a bag or use this for various reasons. Here is a yellow container right here with a lid. This used to contain, I think, sour type of candy, for example. So it's a useful container that I can use. I'm gonna reuse this before even attempting or considering on recycling it. And keep this, in the loop a little bit longer. Next here is some webbing type of material. I actually found this in a baggie. I think it was an accessory for something else. It was like in the grass area, and I was just like on the side of a path or whatever. It was just kind of abandoned. I kind of figured. It was right after the snow started to melt, so I noticed it, and you can still see that thing right there that holds it together. And I could be using this for sewing projects, maybe to make a handle for a pouch, for example. Here is a pair of metal chopsticks here. Now, this I did not find, by the way. This was actually gifted to me by a friend of mine. So I appreciate the friend that gifted this to me. Thank you very much. Next here is one of those candy type of containers. I think you must know what I'm talking about. You know those colorful candy type of containers? So I have one of these right here. Also, you can see the big M on it. It kind of sounds like a rap artist. One of those car adapters, where you would plug it into your vehicle and kind of get USB out. Now, the 1 amp doesn't work, but the 2 amp worked. And honestly, there's an LED type of indicator right here. I've actually tried this out, and it does actually work. So to charge your phone, device, whatever that can accept 5-volt USB type of power. So metal pencil sharpener, obviously, for like pencils, but I can use it to make wooden shavings for like a campfire, for example. Kite string. Let me just open this up. Yeah, see, you can see there's 3 strands in there. Kite string is a useful form of cordage, and I could be using this for a lot of different reasons. Sewing, amongst other things. And for a twist, pun intended, here's one of those drink koozies that you would put like your can in, for example. Also, this is branded and stuff like that, bright yellow, something like that. I could be using this, obviously, for the intended purposes of a can. But I could be also reusing this for backing for like specific sewing type of projects, for example. Obviously, it's bright yellow. And hey, maybe I could use this around my coffee. I don't know, cut the bottom off and just kind of go from there. Acoustics are useful for a lot of different things. Especially even if you don't have like the actual tool to melt it with, you can use like an open flame, like a lighter, a candle, for example. Make repairs with this, for example. Easily add this into a repair kit or a sewing kit, for example. And of course, this won't end up in the trash because it was just sitting on the grass. I actually just found these just kind of laying around. I'm pretty sure they've been used, for example. But honestly, these are useful items. I mean, these are much longer and bigger and probably more durable and heavy duty compared to, let's say, a standard nail that you might use for construction purposes. Here is some black electrical tape that I found right here. It still sticks, and there's still quite a bit of it. I think I just found it in the grass or something like that. It was just kind of abandoned. I'm like, oh, this is a form of cargo tape, for example. And obviously, electrical tape could be useful for many different reasons and could be used for repairs, amongst other things. Here is a piece of foam right here. It's one of that flexible type of foam. A seating pad, for example. So let me scoot around here. I could be using this to kneel down with, for example, to sit down, for example. Let's say I'm sitting at a bench outside. It's cold outside. The ground's cold. I can stand or sit on this and kind of keep my legs, my butt warm, my bottom warm while I'm sitting down and stuff like that. And of course, it's flexible, pretty lightweight. Probably use this to fan a campfire, for example, if I wanted to. And you all can create a better future starting today.
As our world changes, we can adapt too. Skill and knowledge get better with practice. Can't help everyone, but one can help someone.